Greetings, everyone, from LMA, Life More Abundant. This is episode 23 of our programs, and I'm glad to be here. I hope you're having a good day whenever you're watching or listening to this. This program comes on every Saturday, Central Standard Time at 4 p.m. But of course, they have them listed on there on demand. So uh, watch at your leisure. But we would appreciate if you would just check us out and just see if there's anything you hear that you uh, like, if there's anything we can do to help you. LMA is a Christ-centered Trinitarian approach to recovery. And our motto is we are all recovering from something. So, and if you just think about that, don't just cast it away. Don't, don't have contempt prior to investigation. As I've mentioned before, the quote from a fellow called Herbert Spencer. But look into it for yourself. You may or may not have now or in the past have problems with substance abuse. And sometimes you may have and don't realize you have. But we've all got things that we have trouble overcoming, things that the dark one, Satan, the devil, whatever term you want to use, the opposite of love, that creature finds all kind of ways to pull us away from doing that which we were meant to do, and that is to live a blessed, and for the topic for the day, a contented life, and to realize that we don't have to walk around full of shame and guilt and being so messed up over all the things that we have done, that we are reflecting on, that we shouldn't have done. Every one of us have things that we can think back on in our life. And in the privacy of our own thoughts, we have things that we say, oh my, how could I have been so stupid? Well, welcome to the human race. If you hadn't figured that out yet, we have a tendency to do stupid things sometimes. And sometimes it's seemingly minor stuff, but it causes major stuff. And sometimes it's tragic, terrible stuff that those ripples go out and affect all kind of people and situations. Today, I want to talk about, before I get started, as I always do, I want you to know that this ministry is supported and sponsored by Grace Ministry at Rafa, also known as Trinitarian Grace International. And we believe that God is not mad at you. All are included, and the gospel is for all kinds of people in all kinds of places. So today I want to talk about the word content or contentment. And what does this have to do with, quote, recovery from whatever thing that's holding you back or holding you down? I talked to a couple of people that I guess stumbled across this program this past week, and they were interested in our approach to recovery. And if you have to kind of watch all the programs, and you have to realize that we're not high tech on the technology end, but we're trying to get a message out to help someone. Someone told me one time that God kind of revealed to him, if you're in the ministry, and I'm not one of these people that started out to be in ministry. I lived my life into it. I just kind of lived into it. And it just kind of has happened. It's just kind of become what I do and more so who and what I am. But sometimes we get big ideas if you're in the ministry. Oh man, I'm gonna have all kinds of people and we're gonna have this and that. I'm gonna have me some luxury jets to fly on and all that kind of stuff. This guy told me one time that he's passed now, but he was uh said he was praying about it, and he said it kind of came to him that son, you just take care of your little corner of the kingdom. I got this. So whoever you are, it applies to me as well as you. If you're stressing over that kind of thing, especially if you're out there, you're quote in the ministry, But I got news for you. We all have a ministry, whether you realize it or not. Just take care of your little corner of the kingdom. God's got this. But what about this contentment thing? How many times in your life going through things, going through bad relationships, going through divorces, going through troubles with the legal system, going through addictions with alcohol and other drugs, going through physical ailments, losing people to death. We go through all kind of stuff in this life. We just do. Sorry, that's just the way it is. But what do we do? Do we get stuck in grief? Do we get stuck in regrets? Do we get stuck? Do we just get stuck in our minds? We don't have to be. One way that we can work our way through these kind of things of being overwhelmed with guilt and grief and regrets and thoughts of shame. I'm using the Living Bible translation today. Proverbs 14:30 says, a relaxed attitude lengthens a man's life. Jealousy rots it away. When you hear the word jealousy, first thing you think of being jealous of your lover or your wife or your husband or whatever. Jealousy don't just mean that. That's one form of it. But we can be jealous of someone we work with because they got a promotion. We can be jealous of people who tend to be, everybody likes them and nobody likes me. And we get those kind of ideas. Trust me, the one that matters likes you. God, Father, Son, Spirit, the essence that is in and around all things, loves you unconditionally. And you can, and I can, relax. Relax. This help you get through if you're trying to overcome addictions, just relax. I've said this before, and I think I've talked, if you know Steve McVeigh, I think I've talked to him about this before. And we were talking about how one thing sounds crazy from someone who's been an addiction counselor for roughly 30 years or so or more. And I don't really, you've lost count now, but it's been a long time. And I don't, just like I don't believe the same way that I do about certain spiritual matters, I've changed about what I teach in recovery. One of the things that I see that I think we do, especially those, and this can apply to not only addiction from substance abuse, but trying to overcome other things that are holding us back. You know, all kind of stuff that we're, quote, addicted to. We try too hard. Wow, sounds crazy, huh? Stop trying so hard. Relaxed. Yeah, the verse that I just read, a relaxed attitude lengthens a man's life. That applies, that means women too. And being all stressed out and jealous of those around us causes us to rot away and to be discontented. But you know, we don't have to do that. Just relax. Stop trying so hard in the sense that when you're like, if you're trying to overcome drinking or I don't know, or some kind of drug or some kind of thing, behavior, stop focusing on it so much that that's all you focus on. If you focus on something, say, I can't do that, I can't do that, I can't do that. You keep thinking about it, and usually most of us, we people, we humans, that what we're focused on is what we end up doing. I don't mean to not have some effort. That's not what I'm saying. But stop trying so hard that that's all you think about. Just don't do it and relax. Have a relaxed attitude about it and start preparing for your rearranged life or your new life that maybe you've never had. So stop trying so hard. Try to have a relaxed attitude. Psalm 6, 2 through 4 says, pity me, O Lord. Well, we like that one, don't we? For I am weak. Heal me, for my body is sick. Been there and done that, right? And I am upset and disturbed. My mind is filled with apprehension and with gloom. Oh, restore me soon. Does that sound like us as David, one of the Psalms? Have you ever been there? Have you ever been just felt weak and sick? I've been quote on my deathbed a few times from heart disease and lung conditions and all that. But God restore me soon, and He did do it soon. And it wasn't in my timing, and it wasn't how I figured it should be. And I had no idea. I was like, why, oh, why, God, are you bringing all these things on me? Of course, I had in my mind, oh, just like everybody else, I'm like, well, like a lot of us, we're conditioned. I was like, oh my God, all this stuff I have done is now I am being punished. I was not being punished. I was reaping or things that I had done, like smoking and drinking and doing other drugs, and things I had done to abuse myself brought about these consequences in my body. God didn't do that. I violated my body by doing things. Think about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I know people just get sick and little children. We got all kind of arguments. But pity me, oh Lord. He's always there. He doesn't pity us. He loves us when we are just, things are going good. And boy, we think, man, we got it going on. He's with us when we're lying in that bed sick and throwing up and all that stuff. He's right there too. Proverbs 6, verse 3. Quick, get out of it if you possibly can. Swallow your pride. Don't let embarrassment stand in the way. Go and beg to have your name erased. Don't put it off. Do it now. Don't rest until you do. If you can get out of this trap, you have saved yourself like a deer that escaped from a hunter or a bird from the net. I'm talking about here. If we are caught up in a lifestyle or caught up with addictions. We're caught up. We're running with a group of people that they're doing the wrong thing, and we're just going along. Quick, get out of it as quick as you possibly can. Get away from those things that are holding you back. Hey, majority of people, if you're bothering to hear this, you know that you're not stupid. You know what's wrong. You know if you're around people that are doing the wrong thing, get away. I'm deserting my friends? No. Get away so that God can help restore you. He can lead you on that path. And then maybe there may come a time when you can be used to help those folks. That's been my life. I mean, I was brought out of addiction, out of criminal behavior, if you will, incarceration, a lot of that, all those kind of things. And I have been able, with God's help, to help hundreds, if not thousands, of people get a start on a restored life, a restored life. We call it a new creation. It's really a restored creation, restored to your original state, restored to that which we always have meant to be. And that is whole, complete children of God who are loving, look out for others, and can receive love. If you're caught up in that, quick, get out of it as quick as you can. Get your name off that rat roll and start doing something else. Rest and relax to lengthen your life. Psalm 57:1. Oh God, have pity, for I am trusting you. I will hide beneath the shadow of your wings until this storm passes. Whether you're doing good or not so good, we are still we are under the wings, so to speak, of our loving God, Father, Son, Spirit. We are under those wings. We're wrapped in His loving arms. The problem is that we do not choose to be aware of it. We need to work on it, becoming aware of this, aware that that is our place in life. We're constantly wrapped in the loving arms of God. And the storms, what kind of storms? We're supposed to have weather storms come through our area tonight, tomorrow. Uh, but we have other storms of life. We have things that come back from our past. We have all kinds of things that happen to us, sickness, mental and physical, broken relationships, all the stuff that we talk about, all the things that quote we're recovering from, recovering, and since we're recovering from it to be restored to our whole complete self. We're under the wings of God. This storm will pass. I will hide beneath the shadow of your wings under God. Be aware of that until this storm passes. And when the next storm passes, the next and the next, because we'll have storms pass through in our lives until we pass through the veil, as they say. And I don't venture to tell you what that's going to be like, but I do have confidence that it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful homecoming. I think our Father is going to say, welcome home, my child. Welcome home without all that garbage, all that baggage. It'll have been done away with and burned away with because it's already done away with. We just won't accept it. I keep no record of wrongs. Man, I have trouble with that one too. We just have trouble believing God when he says, I keep no record of wrongs. And it's over. All that's over. If you're recovering from addiction of any kind, if you're just trying to learn more, listen to what's being said. Listen, let God talk to you. All that has been done away with. And when we step into the purified presence of our Lord, I don't even think that'll ever even be brought up again. He says, I keep no record of wrongs. Isaiah 40:31, very popular verse, but I just love it. But they that wait upon the Lord, have patience, is waiting, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with eagles, wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. We will be strengthened from day one to day, whatever it is, when we check out. I have ailments and aches, and as I get older, sciatica and all these different things, ringing in the ears and a little bit of arthritis. Come on. All that is just part of growing old. We are purified, whole in Christ, and we are healed. But we will step into the purity and the actual reality of that healing someday when we step into that undiluted presence of God. Think about it. It's real. Trust in God. It's real. Ecclesiastes 6:6, the one I got on the screen here. Look at it. Though a man lives 1,000 years twice over, but doesn't find contentment, well, what's the use? Think about that. You can live forever. Live all kind. You can. I mean, in the flesh, some miracle. You take some miracle pill, and you live 1,000 years, 2,000 years, and you don't find contentment. That'd be 2,000 years of misery, 2,000 years of regrets, 2,000 years of mental and physical and spiritual pain. Think about it. Philippians 4:12. I know how to live on almost nothing or with everything. I have learned the secret of contentment in every situation, whether it be a full stomach or hunger, plenty or want. How about you? Have you learned to live no matter what the situation? I've never been rich financially, but I've had years that I made good money, and I've had years I made no money. And, somewhere in between, most of the time, in times that I thought that was the answer. If I could just work more, if I could just learn more, if I could just get more degrees and more certifications, and if I could just make more money, if I could just get a bigger house, if I could just get a certain car, maybe I would catch up. Maybe I'd make up for all that bad stuff in my past. If I could just get more, if I could just be more, if I could, people could just see me for this guy that's got all these things hanging on the wall. I do. I got all these degrees and certifications hanging around, and without realizing and without coming to the understanding of my identity in Jesus Christ, all that was actually turned in was just a bunch of male bovine scubula. Get somebody to translate that for you if you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's wrong to work and study and do all those things, but get to know who you really are. Become a man or woman who knows that your identity is in Jesus Christ and that He don't control us like puppies, but He is with us in every situation and is with us, walking with us and in us and giving us the peace and the contentment that is so hard for us sometimes. I have a thing, I may have read it before, but it's something I wrote. This platform, I get to read some of my so-called poems and writings, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you don't like it, just turn me off. But it was one I wrote one time when I was sitting around. Well, I wrote it in 2020. Now, some of the stuff I wrote during the pandemic when we was kind of all locked in our houses, so to speak. Looking for Me is the name of it. Listen to my words. Looking for me as I sit and wonder. Looking for me as I ponder my journey. Looking for me as I remember my life. Looking for me as I regret the pain. As I see through the mist, looking for me. As my mind clears, looking for me. As Christ becomes my focus, looking for me. As I gaze in the mirror, looking for me. As Christ gazes back, I found me in Him, looking for me. Thank you for that. If you would like to support us in any kind of way, you can go to our not so fancy website at www.graceministry@rafa.com. You can contact me at chaplain65@outlook.com. You can email me. I'll be glad to email you back. I'll be glad to send you a copy of our LMA program if you're interested in that. Had a couple of people finally request that this past week, and I'm so happy that I could send it to them. I don't know if they'll use it, but at least somebody's watching some of this stuff and has requested to look a little deeper into this Life More Abundant program that myself and another guy too created some years ago. We wanted an alternate, not, we're not anti 12 step at all because we use that. We're not anti AA. We're not anti NA or anti CA or any of that. We're not anti Celebrate Recovery or Addicts for Christ. We're not anti anything. We just thought we would try to come up with something that was Christ centered Trinitarian because, we're a little bit different in our viewpoint. Not so much. Some people think we're what they call it? It was sacrilege or what is that? They think we are way off on our thinking. But here's the thing. I have been led into the way I believe now by the Spirit of God. And that Spirit of God lives right here in me. I don't have to go way off. I don't have to holler for God because God is not living way out there on a ledge, sitting there with his scrawled up face, with his finger pointing, waiting to get me. Yes, he's way up there because he's everything. He's the essence of all. His presence holds everything together. He holds me and you together. He is here with us right now. When you hear this, Think about, are you content with your life? God wants us to be content. He wants us to be happy. He don't want us to be stressed out. He don't want us to have to yell and scream and beg him for stuff. And we certainly don't give him his instructions. Some people pray like they're telling him what to do. Pray to God like he's your friend because he's your best friend. Speak to him. You don't even have to speak out loud. If you want to, that's fine. Just remember, he's your best friend. You don't have to holler and scream. Speak softly to God. Think about it like you would your lover, like you would your mother or father if you were talking to them, wanting them to know how much you love them. Listen to all the things I'm sorry, got distracted. Listen to God as he talks to you in a small whisper. God is not going to talk to you with some booming voice that you don't understand. God will talk to you in your voice. He will talk to you in your voice. He will talk to you in your language. He will talk to you in references that you understand. Think about that. Once again, Ecclesiastes 6:6 from the Living Bible. Though a man or woman lives 1,000 years twice over, but doesn't find contentment, well, what's the use? If we don't find some kind of contentment in this life, what is the use? Be happy, be contented, and remember, as we say at Grace Ministry at Rafa, also known as Trinitarian Grace International, God is not mad at you. All are included. And the gospel is for all kinds of people in all kinds of places. We are all recovering from something. Hope to see you again next time. Until we meet again, may blessings flow and may you find contentment. Amen.